Davis three, and it's good! At the buzzer! Damian Lillard! Are you kidding me? 10, that's his youth right there.
Tagovailoa trying to make up for it. Fires to the end zone. Touchdown! Alabama wins!
Cortez delivers. Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone! Gibby! Meet Freddie!
Welcome to the Just Work Sports Radio, where we'll be covering sports twice a week and really all topics of life. We're going to be talking this week to start off. We're going to talk about the Knicks, how they just won the NBA championship for the first time in 53 years. What a great feat that really was, honestly. It was a great series all in all. Brunson, he continues to prove a lot of people wrong. It's really great to see, honestly, because a lot of people doubted him because of his height, how he small guards can't win titles. The only ones that were Isaiah Thomas, Curry. It's impressive, honestly, to put a team like that on your back in an elimination game for the Spurs, So they had to put everything on the line, truly everything on the line to win that game. And to put up a 45-point performance in Game 5, it solidifies him as one of the all-time greats. And honestly, in my opinion, I would say he's probably the greatest Knick of all time. It was just really impressive how he handled everything. Nothing seemed to phase him. Not one part of the playoffs seemed to phase him, truly. And he just bounced everything off him, everything. Truly, it was really impressive, honestly. And then we have Cat, one of the best shooting bigs ever to play basketball. Just the perfect sidekick for that. It was beautiful, honestly. Great basketball. They played great basketball throughout the stretch. And one of my favorite things about their team is the defensive aspect. They play great team defense. Great team defense. I love Mike Brown. He was the Kings coach. And yeah, it didn't go the right way, obviously, in Sacramento, but he proved to be a winner. He's always been a winner, honestly. Took LeBron and them back 07 to the finals. He was the coach of that run. A lot of people forget that, because he was the assistant coach for the Warriors for a very long time. And he's a great coach, just a great coach, great culture guy. A lot of people, there was some analytical people coming out there, he's not a winner, he's not a leader of men before he took the Knicks job. Yeah, but that all goes out the window. You can't say that anymore. So what can you say now, really, about him? Besides, he's a great coach, a great winner, and a great guy, honestly. And if bias aside, he had to have been a great coach. He took the Sacramento Kings, for crying out loud. And I'm saying this as a Kings fan, to the number 3 seed in the playoffs. Seriously. Yeah, don't get me wrong. We had a great team that year. Fox was playing like himself back then. We all saw how that worked out in the playoffs, but, And just a great team effort. They deserve it, and the Knicks fans deserve it, honestly. It's been chaos in New York City, since you guys have probably seen over the past few days. Since then, honestly, I saw a video of someone burning down a school bus, which, again, I don't agree with all of that, obviously, but the sporting aspect and the passion that New York fans have is second to none. The Garden's the most historical arena in NBA history. Obviously, some people might not agree, but it is. That team they deserve that. They played great. I think it was 16-1 after, throughout the whole playoffs. Their only loss to the Atlanta Hawks, when CJ McCollum went off for whatever it was. Just played great, honestly. Played great. They deserve that. Congratulations to New York Knicks after 53 years. There's not a more deserving team, more deserving coach, more deserving staff just to win that, honestly. A lot of people just didn't believe him. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't believe, I really didn't believe in Knicks, but it proved me wrong, honestly. And I've always been a fan of Jalen Brunson, but he gained another fan this year. Just a crazy run. They all deserved, honestly. So for the next topic we're going to cover this week on our Tuesday episode or Wednesday, you guys have seen this on Wednesday, our Wednesday episode of Sports Talk, we're going to talk about the World Cup, a few different things about that. But before I jump into that, I just saw this report right now, coming across my phone, of Darren Peterson and AJ Devanta both thinking they're going to be the number 1 pick in this NBA draft, which is about 8 days away now, next Thursday, I believe it is, 25th. My honest take is it's 1A, 1B for me, honestly. And I have Devonta as 1A, and it's strictly because there's availability. Yeah, you can say availability. You can say strictly because Darren Peterson didn't play all his games. And yeah, people dealt with cramps. People deal with cramps all the time. Paolo had the same issues coming out of Duke. I remember watching the first 2 games of him at Duke getting pulled out in the second quarter because of cramps. So you can always say that, but it's strictly availability, and I truly believe that. I think both of them are going to be stars, but I have DeMonta as 1A. And also, he's insane. Like, what a great player he's going to be, honestly. Bonafide superstar written all over him. A 6'9" wing, and we have those in the league. We do. There's a lot of wings that can score, but not at the clip he's scoring at. It's just not. Averaged almost 25 this year at BYU, and BYU had a good team. It was definitely built around him, but it doesn't change the fact that he was the best player by far. I would even say like a top 3 player in the country, honestly, only behind Cameron Boozer at Duke and Yaxel Lendenberg at Michigan, honestly. Just a great talent, great scorer, all 3 levels. The 3-point shooting, yes, there's concerns. Not much for me because, again, players learn to grow. He will learn to grow this into the league. And again, if you want number 1 pick to come in and be impact right away, I get that. I understand that. But I think he could be the right fit for Washington. You know, you could have a Trey, a Bilal, a AJ, a Sar, who was AD? I forgot about AD. An AD at the 5. That team can make the playoffs next year. Absolutely, that team can make the playoffs. Trae Young will provide that offensive, just everything on the offense, assists, playmaking, scoring, like everything offensive. Bilal's a great 3-and-D player. There's room to improve offensively. Yes, I don't disagree with anybody who doesn't say that. Yes, I truly believe he can still be a good player in this league. But then you put AJ at the 3, and that's just, I mean, seriously, he's going to come in there and impact winning from day one. It may not be instantly, like the instant levels of scoring, but it'll be a day one impact to a team. He's a great scorer. We all talked about that. But I truly believe there's room to improve on that defensive side. And obviously there is because, he's young, not even in his first year. But there's room to improve on the defensive side. He could go into a 3-and-D wing. We would never know. Nobody thought that, what's his name? Trey Murphy would come out and be a 3-and-D player this well. I mean, there was skeptical and things of it, but nobody knew this. He'd be that good of a player. It's like a modern 3-and-D wing, just to name one of them. And Sar at the 4, would instantly, that team is instantly in the playoffs. With the AD too, I don't have to speak much for AD. We all know the resume of Anthony Davis. His biggest thing will have to be to stay on that court, though. And do we know if he's going to? Honestly, you can't ever tell with him. And it's nothing about him as a player, but when he's available, he's a top 5 player in the league, honestly, if I'd say so. But we'll see. I still think it's DeMonta, but I could also hear the argument of a Peterson at 2. Because a Peterson at 2, my mold of him is more of a 3-level scorer. I've seen a lot of comparisons to like a young Kobe, that's very high of a potential you're listing him at, because you can put him at that high of a potential, and what if he doesn't pan out? Then you're going to say he's a bust? No, that's just not fair. I see a young 2-way, 3-level scorer. That's all it is. And you could say, the Kobe Jordan comparisons on offense. I see those. I get that. But again, you're putting way too much expectations on a player who hasn't even been in the league yet. So whenever he does have those jitters, mistakes early on, like we've seen rookies have every single year of league, it's just not fair to Peterson to have those type of expectations coming into the league. Again, I do think he's a great player. There's no doubting he's a great player. But is it too much too early? But either way, I would take either one, 1A, 1B. Either way works out for me, honestly. But the rumors were they both think they're going to Washington. I guess Peterson thinks more so that he's leaning on Washington to draft him because he wants to be the number 1 pick, which you can't fault him for that. He had a great year. At Kansas. In the games he played, he looked like the number 1 overall pick. If we were talking any other year, when AJ DeMantle wasn't there, he'd be the clear number 1 pick. He truly be the clear number 1 pick. The thing is, though, can you put him in Utah at number 2 if he doesn't go number 1? Which, truthfully, I think it'll be AJ number 1. A sleeper pick, honestly. I think Boozer goes number 2 to Utah. There's a lot of connections. And yeah, I understand that it doesn't make sense. They have Laurie. They have JJJ. Or Triple J, sorry, I probably shouldn't say that. Triple J. They have Kessler, which, again, I truly think that Kessler leaves this summer. There's a lot of teams interested in him. Apparently he's having some frustrations with the front office. Again, all understandable because what are they really doing? It's the Jazz. What are they really doing every single year? And no disrespect to the Jazz, but like they're not in a head direction. They're trying to rebuild. Yeah, I get that. But for a player of Kessler's, of his, he can be a good player on a good team, like a good contending team. And I'm not saying he's not a good player on that team, but he could be a good player on a good playoff run. I think a few different fits would be for me, for the Jazz, would be, for Kessler in particular, would be the Lakers. I saw some Bulls fans saying they do need a center. Honestly, I would take either Duren. If he leaves the Pistons, I think he should leave the Pistons, honestly. Just because of how he performed. I don't think he can really bounce back from something like that. Strictly on that team. Again, you can, but like there wasn't much shown to him. But for Kessler, the Bulls, Lakers, really anywhere that needs a big man that's contending, honestly. Like anywhere contending. He's a great player. No doubt about that. He's a great player. Might not be the best offensively all the time, but there's still room to grow. You can still give him that grace period. Let's say you put him on a team like the Lakers. There's so much. Like he would improve that team so drastically much. It's not even funny. A lot of their questions this year were their big men, honestly. Jackson Hayes, no knock to the player, good player, but he's not elevating your level. And I think Walker Kessler in that system that JJ Redick runs out in LA would fit that. Like fits the mold, perfect fit, slot in with Luka. I think that'd work perfectly. But back to my main point of this was the Utah Jazz and Cameron Boozer. His dad's in the front office there. Like it makes sense. It makes sense. And honestly, he'd fit perfect there. Fit perfectly. Great playmaking asset to all the other scorers they have on that team. Bailey, George, Triple J, Laurie. He has the playmaking aspect. Now, I think a lot of people forget that. He averaged a couple assists at Duke. I don't have the numbers pulled up right now. He averaged a couple numbers at Duke that literally those assists that he needed to bring in, he was there. And whenever he needed to run the offense through him in particular at Shire, it flowed. In late game scenarios, in mid game scenarios, it worked. It worked perfectly, perfect. He bring the ball up sometimes. Again, the handle will improve. The handle will improve in the NBA. A lot of people discredit these players very early, and it's not. I don't think that's fair to them because there's so much room to grow. There's so much room to grow. But I do think that if it's AJ at 1, it's Boozer at 2, and I could be wrong. Obviously, it could be Peterson at 2. Either way, it's a great pickup for the Jazz. It doesn't make much sense to me to pick Peterson at 2 with George, Bailey, running those. Collier, they still have Isaiah Collier, there's so many different players they have that are already guards, Boozer's the pick. 22, 10, and 4 at Duke this year as one of the main focal point of their offense. It was just great player. And so I could see the Grizzlies maybe taking Peterson if he's there. Obviously, he's 1A, 1B for me. He's a great player still. But no knock to him. Great player. The Grizzlies honestly would be a perfect scenario for him. I still think Morant is traded this summer, so bring a new franchise piece with Coward, Edey, Wells. That's a great build around for that team, honestly. But that's enough of the NBA talk. We'll bring up some World Cup stats for you all today. France just beat Senegal 3-1 on 3-1. Great game. France started off slow. It was honestly kind of ugly to watch. Senegal was a better team over the first half. They came out slow, and it almost looked arrogant to me how slow they were playing because they know they're a better team. Everyone knows that France is the better team. They're one of the obviously big favorites coming into this year as they were the semifinalists last year. More of my issue with the France team this year is the substitutions and the starters. I think that Dembele is a great player. Do I think he should start in the number 10 position? No, not at all. Great player by all means. Obviously, Ballon d'Or last year. Great player. Nothing against him in the slightest. He still needs to be. I don't think he should start, truthfully. And I don't think a lot of people disagree with that. Or if you wanted to swap him and Olise, put Dembele on the right wing. Again, it could work. It could. But Dembele's best position has been a false 9 behind the striker or being the main striker. But I don't think it works out this year. And I think I still have them. I have France winning it all. But I think they're The right attack is a key to them. They have a great defense, with Upamecano, Saliba, leading that defense. And those are two of the best center backs in the world. Honestly, the top two for me. If you wanted to slide in Gabriel instead of Saliba, that's fine. But Upamecano and Saliba are the top two for me. Either way. The attack, back to the attack. It would have to be left wing, Doué, or Barcola. Either one, honestly. I'm more Desiree Doué, honestly, just because he has so much creativity. And I'm not saying Barcola doesn't have that, but does he have enough right now? I don't know. Great player on the wing, though. Great player on the outside, but I don't know if he has that for the type of attack that France is running the World Cup. And so I'd have Doué on the left wing. Honestly, from Ryan Cherokee had a great season at Manchester City this year. Great season. A lot of people were surprised by Cherokee's success at Manchester City, and I wasn't one of them. I really wasn't one of them. He's been one of those players a couple years ago, for the past few years, who's been growing in France. He was a wonder kid back in the day. I don't know how a lot of people overrated him last summer over the whole attitude issues. It's not attitude issues. When a player is good, they know they're good. And I'm not saying you have to be arrogant or cocky or the latter side of that. You don't have to be timid, quiet, But he's good. He knows he's good. He's going to get better. He's going to continue to get better. In his first year at Manchester City, he had 4 goals, 12 assists, and 33 league appearances. That's for your first year, 16 GAs in league, in the Premier League, for crying out loud. That's one of the hardest leagues in the world. I don't like to I give the Prem a lot of credit for what they do, but they're all funded by billionaires. It's not a lot of Bundesliga clubs, France clubs, besides PSG. Oh, there's a few other ones. They're all league owned, but I don't give them the credit. I really don't, because they're just owned by and they're funded by billionaires. It's a league, state owned. They're just funded money every year. For crying out loud, Spurs is about to spend $250 million after finishing 17th. Again, Big Six, I get it. I understand. Most watched league in the world. But it's a great league. It's hard, but in my opinion, it's a little bit overrated by some of their fans, some of the pundits who talk about it every week. Again, it's physical. I understand that. It's very physical. I get that. But there's so much talent in other leagues. And one of my biggest things, honestly, as a Bayern Munich fan, as a Bundesliga fan, is the overratedness of the Premier League. And I get it. I understand it's big league. I get it, whatever. But not, in my opinion, not the best. Not the best. Not the best. But back to my main point here. France, 10, Cherokee. It has to be him. Mbappe, you can't take that number 9 from him. You can't. He's the best player in the world. When on form, he is the best player in the world. Struggled a bit this season at Real Madrid, and it wasn't. I don't want to blame him fully. I don't. A lot of stuff going on. A lot of different players coming in and out of the locker room. Coaches, they switched coaches. Managers. Lots of different things. They started with Alonso. They brought in, I don't want to butcher his name. The other guy they brought him in, and he clashed with them a little bit. They said he had tension with Xabi Alonso. I don't know if that's true. It might be, because we all know Mbappe. There's a running joke on Twitter or sports everywhere of him being kind of like the leader of that team. And the whatever he says goes. And again, partially, you can't blame him. He's the best player in the world when he's on form. And whenever it's a World Cup year, he's going to perform. He's going to deliver for you. So we'll see. But he's the number 9 for me. Easily, clear-cut number 9. Nobody's taking that shirt off him, honestly, until he retires. He just broke the France national team record. Scored the brace today. There's not another player who I'd take over him at number 9 spot. But then the right wing has to be Michael Olise. I mean, who was better than him this year besides Harry Kane at Bayern Munich? There's nobody you can say who was better than him. He was easily the best player in the Bundesliga. Honestly, one of the best players in the Champions League. Delivered on every single game. He had 15 goals in the Bundesliga this year, 19 assists. There was a point in time where we were talking about him breaking the assist record. Finished just a great player, all in all. My biggest thing is with Olise. People like to discredit him because of the league he plays in. I understand the Bundesliga is not. It's a great league. Don't get me wrong. It's not cream of the top. It's not. You're not playing the great teams every weekend, and I understand. I can hear that focal point of that. But when he delivers every single week, what can you say? Then what can you say? You can't. There's nothing you can say. Every week, week in and week out, delivering. And again, today, an assist, like, just insane. Just insane. And when the ball flows through him, he's the best player on the pitch. It's not even close. The best player on the pitch. There's no one that touches him, honestly. If I were to pick my Ballon d'Or, it'd be him or Harry Kane. Like, I can hear an argument for... I really can't, honestly. I'm trying to think of a few names. Dembele, but no, he doesn't play enough league games for it to matter to me. He played 9 league games, for crying out loud, this year in League One. It doesn't move the needle for me, honestly. But again, Olise, the best player in the world currently. There's not. I said Mbappe went on form. Yes, Mbappe is one of the best when he's on form. He wasn't on form this year for Real Madrid. Olise's been on form since he moved to Munich, honestly. Since he moved to Munich, he's been cream, top of the top. Great player. Like, it's really, for that right wing position in the best of the world competition, it's him and Yamal, and there's no debate about it. And honestly, this year I would give it to Olise because performed in every game when it mattered the most. When he played PSG the first leg, it looked like he was doing some bad things. Nuno Mendes. Sorry, I butchered that name a little bit. Nuno Mendes, great player. Obviously, Mendes, the best left back in the world. Olise toyed with him the whole game. And obviously, Bayern. My Bayern lost that leg, but, it is what it is. That was a great team. PSG deserved that. And now we're going to talk about a few more things from the World Cup. We're going to go into our next team from yesterday. Spain and Cape Verde versus... Spain looked rough. I'll be honest. Spain looked rough. And part of that, a lot of people are going to say, oh, Yamal didn't play until very long into the match. But it's more about that team isn't as quality as they make it seem. They're a great team, don't get me wrong. They won the Euros a couple years back. Great team. But without Yamal, without the Nico Williams, who's attacking for them? Like, Ferran Torres he's not doing that in the biggest stage. The biggest stage, this is here. It's the World Cup, for crying out loud, people. The biggest stage, he's not moving that needle. They don't have anybody in that attack. There's nobody up front that's, Like, yes, there's going to be games in this World Cup where we see Yamal, we see Nico Williams, we see Pedri, and these other prominent players leading them, okay? But what else can they bring to the table? And I'm not this is not an overreaction to this. I've thought this way for about Spain, for a while now. A great team, but they don't have a prominent number 9. They don't. They don't. Morata is no longer with them. He's not on the team. Like, just dropped from the team. And I think a lot of people overlooked Cape Verde. One of the smallest countries, 65th ranked coming into that game, but they played their hearts out. They showed more intensity yesterday than a lot of teams I saw over the whole club season, honestly. So much intensity on defense, especially. Like, the way they locked them down, it was impressive, honestly. It was impressive. And I really think a lot of people have Spain winning this World Cup. I don't know. Truthfully, I don't know. It's a toss-up. I have France, personally. There's so much quality everywhere instead of Spain only having that in certain positions. The United States the other day played a great game versus Paraguay. They looked amazing. Like, on paper, you can say whatever you want. It's Paraguay, whatever, nobody really cares. They looked great. I think Poach has them looking like a team. I don't want to go too far and be like, oh, we're a dark horse. I don't know. I don't want to go that far. It's too early still. But we look good. And the team played well as a whole. Like, everyone was on point. The midfield link-up was it was great to see, honestly. Tillman looked great. Florian, obviously, Balogun looked great out there, And his story is just amazing, being born here to going to London. And then never know where you're going to play at. And picking U.S., we are blessed to have a striker of that caliber here. And again, yes, did he struggle in his club season? Yes, absolutely. But when it comes, like I'm saying time and time again, when it comes to international competitions, these players don't perform. Big-time players make big-time plays. It's as simple as that. And they look great, honestly. I'm excited for our game against Australia. They played a great game the other day. They played a great game versus Turkey. We're going to see. Truthfully, I don't know. I think we have. I'm going to give my prediction right now. I have USA. Another 2-1 win. A 2-1 win over Australia. Keep moving on. I think our group's good. I have my predictions of us topping this group. Turkey, yes, they have the youngsters of Gouler, Yildiz, but do they have enough is mine question. They didn't look that great during the game the other day. They didn't look great versus Australia in their game. So we're going to see. It's all about playing it by, recency, honestly. Recency bias wins in this game. It wins. There's a game going on right now while I'm recording this podcast. Our first ever episode at Just Work Sports Radio. Iraq, Norway. Holland, Odegaard. Who doesn't get much bigger than that. Holland's one of the biggest names out there in sports. In football especially. One of the best strikers of this new generation. I think I saw a stat earlier that said he had 55 goals in 50 international games. That's just absurd. And we are blessed to be able to see him at this World Cup. Not a lot of people had Norway making the World Cup. It's amazing to see, honestly. It's really amazing to see. And next game is Argentina versus Algeria, the defending champs versus Algeria. It's going to be a great game. It's going to be a great game. I have Argentina winning that game slightly. I'd go 2-0. 2-0 to Argentina. Just, lots of experience there in that team. Lots of, World Cup winning experience that dates back to 2022. And, again, you can never doubt the GOAT. It's Messi, for crying out loud. They're also a heavy favorite in this. Like, a very heavy favorite. You never can doubt that, And some of the group games we have tomorrow today. You guys will be hearing this podcast today. Same games, same day. Portugal, Congo, Austria, Jordan. Shout out Austria. Shout out Conrad Leimer. Great player at Bayern. One of my personal favorites. Plays right back. Switched from a CDM, a 6, to right back coming into Bayern. Tuchel used to have him at 6. Didn't always agree. He didn't look great as a 6. Can play it. Was his prominent position before. Right back looks way more comfortable, way more fluid. Better on the ball. Great defensive instincts. Great player. Shout out Austria. And Alaba as well. They could take that. I don't know if Alaba is actually at Austria. That might be mine. My bad. And England also plays tomorrow. England's a heavy favorite. Here's my thing with England, and a lot of people the English aren't going to be happy with me. They say it's coming home. When's it ever going to come home, though? When is football ever going to come home? They have the right quality and talent in England. Obviously, Kane, Rashford, after a good season at Barcelona, honestly. He surprised a lot of people. He's always been that talent. Lots of hiccups at United, But that's United for you. That's really United. That's how they go. Saka. Great year, Prem winner. I don't want to say too much because I'm no bias, but I think Saka's a good player. Rodgers, they have Morgan Rodgers, Jude Bellingham, one of the best midfielders in the world, top 5, and for me, does everything a lot. He gets a lot of flack for what he does each week at Real Madrid. He came into Real Madrid playing as number 8 from Dortmund. And then they moved him up to a false 9 his first year playing as attacking midfielder. He's not that. He's not. He's in his best. And I know the numbers his first year at Madrid were goals, assists, all of that. He can still get that in number 8. He's that good of a player where he can function as a roaming 8. He can play the ins and outs of the pitch. Great player. England has a chance. I don't think, not this year, in my opinion. I don't have them. I just don't see it. I really don't. It's just there's too much quality around, and I don't understand some of his call-ups. I get he's trying to make more of a team thing over talent and quality, but you're at the World Cup, for crying out loud. You have to put on the best players. And there's 4 players who could have played number 10, Rodgers, Jude. You can put Jude there. You could put Foden. You could have put Palmer, but he didn't pull those 2 up. Which, again, it makes sense to me. Those 2 didn't perform this year. It was a down year for both of them. Neither of them performed to their capabilities. I understand that. But you have to bring up talent, I feel like, in my opinion, to win these games. And Livramento just got injured yesterday, reported by The Athletic, that he was injured, and now they're pulling up Trevor Chalobah. It doesn't make sense to me. Trent has to be there. again, you can say whatever you want about Trent, his defending. You can say whatever you want about him not being the prototypical right back with the defending wise. His offensive game and his passing range is just top. There's not a right back that clears him in that. There's not. There's nobody really close in that plays right fullback in that position that can do that. His offensive game is just, it's too much for me, honestly, sometimes. I feel like he should have been there. And Chalobah, it doesn't make sense pulling him up. It really doesn't. Not a great year at Chelsea. But when does Chelsea ever really have a great year, honestly? Like, it's been a while. It's been a while since we're talking about Chelsea. So, next topic would be over the World Cup. We're going to talk about some NHL, some hockey. The Carolina Hurricanes have done it. Great year, great season by them. Just top, great season by them. They deserve that. I saw a statistic earlier that was both captains of the Knicks, the Hurricanes, number 11, won MVPs. Great players. You know, they both organizations in basketball, hockey deserve that. And shout out to the Hurricanes, man. They really deserve that. I don't know who wins it next year, honestly, though. It's up in the air. Hockey's so up in the air to me. There's so many good teams, you know. You could say the Hurricanes, but I saw something earlier that said the Golden Knights, they're losing their coach. Their coach is out. He's leaving. They're done. They're done with my man. But we'll see. We will see from now. Truthfully, though, we'll see. A lot of good teams. I'm personally an Avalanche fan. No bias. I'm not trying to show bias. We could be up there, you know. We could be there. We'll see. And so the next topic we're going to dive into is more of football as a whole, soccer. Some people, I know Americans call it soccer. I'm American. I call it football. It's the proper way to go about it. You don't play the NFL. They don't play in the NFL with their feet, besides kicking the ball. Like, come on. I get it. Oh, it's soccer. No, it's football. It's football. And so we're going to talk about some transfer news. Nathaniel Brown is on the verge of a move to Bayern Munich, coming in for $55 million, is reported. On the verge, they're still working out some minor details between the two clubs at Frankfurt, Bayern. It'll be close. We'll see. Great player. Had a goal and an assist the other day in their game. Great player. Left back. He's going to fit in perfectly with what Vincent Kompany is trying to run at Bayern. But can play both sides. German international. That's the type of things we look for at German in Bayern. And I get it. People say, oh, we were winning the Bundesliga. We're buying all the talents. If you could tell me 5 talents off the top of your head in the past 5 years that we pulled from other Bundesliga clubs, I hear you. I get it. You know, they have history. We have history of doing that. Lewandowski back in the day, obviously, you know. Götze. I get it. I hear it. I do. But that's not what we do. It's really more of the outside leagues coming into Germany, poaching the best players. For crying out loud, Liverpool bought damn near 4 of them last year. 4 of them. You know, these teams come in and buy our players. Not our players, but the Bundesliga players. And the Bayern's blamed for it. Doesn't make sense to me. Whatever. Van Hecke of Brighton is moving to Spurs, Tottenham, of $52 million. 52 million pounds, sorry. And great move, honestly. Roberto De Zerbi that's in my opinion, that is his Van Dijk. And it could be his Van Dijk of the new generation at Spurs. A lot of people discredit Spurs. Yeah, they don't win. They don't blah, blah, blah. They won the Europa League a couple years ago. Like last year, honestly. They won that. You have to give them the credit. And they're big. As much as people didn't want them to stay up in the Premier League, I did. They're a big club. I don't think people realize how much the London atmosphere, and you can say they don't win. Their fans are second to none. Some of the greatest fans in the Premier League, if we're being honest. Great environment. They're not playing in Europe this year, but that's fine. I could see them finishing top 5 next year. If the signings that I've seen rumored to this team, we have Savinho of City, which is in negotiations from Fabrizio Romano. Deep negotiations with Manchester City over the right winger. Great player. Does he have the potential? Yes. It's more about what now. You know, now they want a player who's prominent, can score goals. Good player, great player. Can get to that level, we'll see. Not enough, in my opinion, not enough finishing of, you know. Great assist. He beats the man, can find the right player open. I mean, but you're at City with Haaland, you should be able to do that. It should be easy to you to find those players. Next topic. Same thing. Same thing. Sandro Tonali. I don't want to butcher his name. Sandro Tonali to Spurs as well, as rumored. First, it was reported by Fabrizio Romano. Shout out to him. Great journalist. Him from Newcastle. The rumors are $100 million, £100 million. I don't know. Good player. But I think that you can, honestly, you can get two good players, two good midfielders for that price. Like, yes, Tonali has the range, defensive capabilities. He's a great player, don't get me wrong. But you can get two good players for the price of one great player in Tonali. There's Kamara in France right now. There's a lot of good midfielders on the market, honestly. You could even say Baudi from Morocco, who just had a great game the other day versus Brazil. A lot of people are starting to open up and see him more often after his season at Lille. Great player. Great young player. Would he be open to Spurs? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Probably not. And nothing against Spurs, but like, if the other big teams are calling, can you say they're going to win him over? I don't know, but again, we're seeing the Zerbi pull in full effect, honestly. In full effect. Van Hecke declined Chelsea. I've been told declined Chelsea. Tonali's reported was in talks with Arsenal in January over a move, but nothing was ever concrete enough. City's interested in him. But it's just... Shout out to Spurs. That's a great pickup. Great pickup. There's a few other moves, but we will get into those another day. But that's really all I have for the first episode. I really hope everyone enjoyed. Welcome to the Just Work Sports Radio. We're going to capture every sport, honestly. Every major sport. As the day goes, there might even be more daily uploads with how the World Cup is. I'm a big football fan, as you guys can tell. I like to cover this. I feel like not enough people in America are informed of it, honestly. It's a great sport. And I hear you sometimes. I was the same way as a kid. Oh, it's soccer. Who cares, really? Open your eyes, people. It's the greatest sport. It's the biggest sport in the world. Seriously. We have the biggest sport in the world here in North America for the summer. You get to see some of the best players on the planet play football at the highest level. Like, I was watching the French game earlier. We're playing in MetLife. To us Americans, yeah, it's MetLife, whatever. Mbappe, Olise. These players are at MetLife Stadium, for crying out loud. It doesn't get much bigger than that. This is, in my opinion, the biggest and greatest sport in the world. Like, you have to open your eyes. Be more open-minded to this. It's gonna be a boom in soccer after this. Or football. Sorry, I apologize. In football in America after this World Cup. Everyone's gonna see it. There's gonna be a boom. Another boom. They say we're in the golden generation right now of the U.S. national team. We're gonna see another one of those, people. Another one of those is gonna be coming. But that's enough for today. Thank you for listening to this first episode of the Just Work Sports Radio. Catch you next time. Out.